Well, family, here we are, last week, full force study, and we're going to dive into maybe my favorite part, where Paul is just going to flip the world upside down on us as he helps us to understand how to really overcome. Here's what I mean by that. We have seen with our eyes from the very beginning, it was true for them too, just the way the world wins, the way the world overcomes. And I'm just going to say it like this. He's going to start helping us understand that we're never going to be able to use an enemy weapon or tactic to get a Jesus result. So he just flips things a little bit on us. He's like, I know that you're trying to figure out how do I win and how do I overcome and how do I make it when everything's so crazy. And here's his response. Verse 14. Here's how you do it. You bless those who persecute you. You bless them. You don't curse them. You rejoice with those who rejoice. You mourn with those who mourn. You live in harmony with one another. Don't be proud, but be willing to associate with people of low position. Hey, don't be conceited. Do not repay anyone evil for evil. Be careful to do what is right in the eyes of everyone. If it's possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. Don't take revenge, my dear friends, but leave room for God's wrath. For it is written, it is mine to avenge, I will repay, says the Lord. On the contrary, if your enemy is hungry, feed him. If he's thirsty, give him something to drink. In doing this, you will heap burning coals on his head. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. And I think in this, Paul really is trying to say to us, and I love this. He just says, listen, you will never use an enemy weapon or tactic and get a Jesus result. Most of us were grown with the weapons of the enemy. We know how people win. People win with anger. They win with physical force, intimidation. They'll just simply get louder and raise the volume of their voice until they can't not be heard. They'll be violent. They'll gossip and cut people down. They'll retaliate. They'll curse somebody and just call them everything but what you should call somebody. They'll just be jealous and just everything that goes good in their life. They're just so jealous, or maybe they'll just get callous, or maybe they'll look and people are just kind of a social ladder to climb, to excel, to get in with the right people. Or maybe they'll just hide if they have anything going on. They just want to make sure that everything, I'm just going to focus on the external. I'm just going to be fake. And Paul just says, yeah, that's not going to work. Is it really working for anybody? He says, listen, I want you to know as we lean into transformation that you are going to have to put down the weapons of the enemy. You're going to have to put down the tactics of the enemy. And you get to pick up the weapons of King Jesus. You get to just bless people. One of my favorite quotes of the Old Testament is that the Jewish people, God's people, were an uncursable people. He says, listen, man, when you bless people, there's not a curse that can come against you. He's going to say, not just bless him, but here's, you want to hear a weapon? I just want you to obey. I'm like, well, that doesn't sound very great. No. Obedience is just putting trust in motion. When you trust me, when you take me at my word and just do what I've asked, you're trusting me. And when you do that, watch the way I help you overcome. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to worship. Even when things are hard and even when things feel like they're bleak, you're going to remember. You're just going to keep lifting your eyes to heaven and remember who's on the throne and who's in the throne room and whose voice that at any tiny little utterance of his voice, it's just going to be done. And we're going to worship. We're going to choose faith even when everybody else has fear. We're going to choose humility. Not that we're going to think less of ourselves. We're just going to think less about ourselves and think about other people. And he says, here are your weapons. You're going to forgive. You're going to have godly relationships in your life to speak courage. You're going to confess. You're going to bless. You're going to just operate in truth. You're not going to allow deception to come underneath of you and always be wondering what is truth and who really speaks truth. And then you're just going to have a heart of peace and reconciliation. He just says, hey, listen, you want to overcome. I got a way for you. It's just the way of Jesus. So in order to do that, I'm going to ask you, will you put down all the enemy ways, all the enemy tactics, and you have the gift, the opportunity, and I promise you, if you'll trust me, you will overcome. There won't be a thing you ever face that I'll leave you, that I'll forsake you. He says, all you got to do, my weapons, my tactics, my ways. And if you trust me, I will take that transformed life and I will bless you in ways you never dared dream. Take him at his word.